Hey guys, today we're driving the 2020 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. It is painted in this awesome army green and has a black leather interior. Unique to this TRD Pro are BBS forged 18-inch alloy wheels, TRD tuned Fox shocks with remote reservoirs, and 3-stage compression dampening. Basically, that means that they ride awesome and they're fantastically comfortable on and off-road. This also has the TRD dual exhaust, the TRD front skid plate, as well as some TRD badging and trimming on the seats and throughout the vehicle. Mechanically, this Tundra TRD Pro has a fantastic drivetrain with a 5.7 liter I-Force V8. That makes 381 horsepower, 401 pound-feet of torque. That's mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. It has 4-wheel drive with a transfer case, high and low, A-track, and auto LSD. This also has a tow package with a 4.3 rear axle and engine trans fluid coolers. This Tundra has a massive 38-gallon fuel tank, and it needs it because it gets 13 mpg in the city and 17 on the highway. All week I've been averaging between 14 to 15 miles to the gallon in this thing. MSRP on this is $52,780. As tested with delivery and everything, it's $55,020. This Tundra also has the chrome tube steps on the side for $535. Honestly, I'd rather get a set of rock rails that are a little bit more off-road worthy and also provide a step for you. I always enjoy getting behind the wheel of a Tundra. Let's take a walk around here and show you what this thing is like to drive. I love the 5.7 liter in this Tundra. It just sounds so good. You add in that TRD exhaust, one of the best V8s in a truck, maybe ever. This thing is just, it's a beast. So Toyota's done a few little updates on this Tundra for 2020. They've added some things here. They've changed the location of the heated seat controls, added a couple of USB 2.1 amp USB ports, and made this just a little bit more of an updated space. The Tundra's always been old school. It's definitely due for a refresh here in the next year or two. But for now, this is just a fantastic truck. If you need a truck and you need to do truck things like tow, haul, and just use this like a truck, you really can't do any better than this Tundra TRD. The TRD gives you some off-road chops. The Fox shocks on this truck are awesome. They ride super well. We'll get it on the road here in a little bit, and I'll show you guys what I mean. You do get a TRD shifter here. Pretty basic reverse camera. We're also testing the Nissan Titan this week, and you get into this interior and after getting out of the Titan, and you feel like you're going back to 2011, but at the same time, it's refreshingly simple. It's functional. It has everything you need. The ergonomics and the controls are beautifully laid out. And there's some neat little features in here that I think work really well, and that's just kind of unique to Toyota. You get the rear window that you can roll up and down like in the 4Runner. That's pretty neat. And everything in here is just well laid out. The materials feel like they will really stand the test of time. Everything is just, it's a Toyota. What else can you say? We have this enormous center console here to put things. Some plastic around here. I wish some of these coatings were a little bit more grippy, but I guess if you have a grippy phone case, then your interior items won't slide around as much. Automatic climate control. Here's your 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive selector. You even have your trailer brake down here. Put it in a tow haul mode. I did do a full review on a Tundra last year, so we won't repeat too much, but with this crew cab, but with this configuration and the 5-foot bed, you really do get a pretty massive rear seating area. It's probably excessive, and I personally prefer having a larger bed in this thing, but there are other ways to configure Tundra as well. These BBS wheels look kind of cool with the red center caps. They're forged, quality looking wheel. And it's just so cool seeing the red Fox shocks and springs in there. You put some off-road tires on this, maybe some more side protection, and you've got yourself a pretty capable truck, especially with A-track and stuff like that. Rigid Industry fog lights. Actually, let's take a look at those really quick. I like that they're the same color temperature as the headlights. Neat little aftermarket piece. I think Toyota's listened to a lot of their customers with these trucks and just made little tiny changes over the years. All right, let's take this for a drive. Oh, we also have Apple CarPlay. That's nice to finally get into one of these. Works quite well. Close that sunroof so you can see a little bit easier. We'll also do a sound test of this JBL sound system. But for now, let's just listen to this V8. Wow, guys, does it get any better than that? That's a soundtrack. And probably won't be around for much longer. Just fantastic. This does have a sport transmission mode where you could shift the gears yourself. One of my favorite things about this TRD Pro is just how well it rides. It soaks up bumps, rough pavement, like there's nothing even there. It's pretty impressive. You hit a pothole in this thing and it just eats it right up. Very little interior noise, very little intrusion into the cabin. We'll even hit a little bit of a dirt road here. Let's see how it feels on the transition. I mean, that was a massive pothole back there, and it just wasn't an issue at all. Pretty awesome. Another thing I really like about this TRD, or just the Tundra in general, is this turning radius is incredible. It's just so tight. It really allows you to maneuver this big truck quite well. Useful for off-road situations, but also quite useful in the day-to-day. Switch it into 4 high here. See how it does. Still got a little bit of leftover snow and ice. While we're here Let's do a braking test. Not bad. Traction control, keeping wheel speed, wheel spin in check there. When you're driving normally, just cruising around in this Tundra, the transmission has a really nice programmed character. It's only a 6-speed, so you're not hunting gears. And you get this just always present burble from the V8 with the TRD exhaust. It really just lopes along nicely. Pretty amazing what a nice set of shocks will do for a truck. The ride quality on this thing is just phenomenal. I think it's up there with the Raptor, with the ZR2. Maybe not quite in terms of high-speed off-road capability, but for 99% of the scenarios that people take these trucks through, it's going to do awesome. We do have radar guided cruise control, very easy to engage and disengage. Lane keep assist is basically just a warning that tells you when you're stepping out of your lane, gives you a little beep, and that's it. I mostly run with it turned off, but again, we're low tech in this Tundra still. The next version will probably bring the vehicle up to modern standards. But there's something really appealing to me, and I think a lot of other buyers out there, to something that's simple, lots of buttons, knobs, switches, minimal distraction in the cabin. A couple of features would be nice. I would like to have blind spot monitoring in the mirrors. But, you know, so many of these new trucks are so feature rich and so full of things to press and do that just a basic driving experience is sometimes the best and the most rewarding. And personally, that's kind of what I have always preferred, and one reason why, if I ever needed a truck, the Tundra would probably be my first pick. I think if you truly need a truck for truck things, this is the best option on the market. It's proven to be incredibly reliable. It has great capabilities. It can take a beating. There are Tundras out there with 1 million miles on them, still running happily. I wouldn't want to put 1 million miles on one of these things because the gas bill would bankrupt you, but what a great engine. I'm gonna miss it when they put the twin turbo V6 in. So how does this handle? Well, it handles like a truck. It's got body roll. These all-season tires squeal a little bit. You could probably get some slightly better handling out of a set of KO2s or something E-rated with a stiffer sidewall. But it is what it is. The soft ride comfort really makes up for it. and see if we can hit an entrance ramp. Again, one of the best riding trucks on sale today. It's just so smooth, so supple, I love it. Getting on the highway, you just putter along about 1900 RPM at 70 miles an hour. This will probably do 17, 18 miles to the gallon on the highway. No wind noise, a little bit of tire noise, and a little bit of sound from that TRD exhaust with that engine just turning over. Let's hop in and do a sound test here. I'm used to the volume knobs on Toyotas being right here like it is in the 4Runner, but they've made that a different phone button there. JBL sounds fantastic. It's super clear. Toyota always does a really nice job with their top level sound systems. Toyota and Lexus both. This JBL's no exception. It's really nice. Radar guided cruise control works quite well too. It's a smooth system. It doesn't give you a lot of issues. It just doesn't bring the car down to low speed. I think it kicks off at about 25, 30 miles an hour, somewhere in there, maybe 28 or so. And but above that it works quite well, and you know, it's not something that you're going to want to rely on with such a big heavy vehicle all the time, but it is nice in most scenarios when you're just cruising down the highway. I have great visibility in here too. My solution for no blind spot monitoring is to always put a couple fisheye mirrors in my upper top corner, and that usually eliminates the needs for any blind spot monitoring. But I will say I have pretty good visibility with these mirrors, especially on the passenger side where it's a little bit wider of a view. One of my complaints with this Tundra that I don't quite understand why they didn't do this is there's a grab handle for every door except for the driver's side. And if you don't have the side step, this is a pretty taxing truck to get in and out of just because it's so high up. It has great ground clearance, but at the same time I would like a grab handle right here. That would be pretty useful. And I'm not really sure, maybe you can grab onto the steering wheel instead, but not really sure why Toyota didn't include that. I was hoping that we could do a little bit of an off-road test in this week, but it's pretty muddy. Most off-road parks are a little bit too tight and technical for something this large. But we'll take us through a little section here and see how it does. I'd imagine that just about any scenario you throw at this Tundra would be able to handle, as long as it can fit through the tiny gap. So for example, just taking over these huge potholes here, it just doesn't care. You barely feel them. It's pretty amazing. This frame is nice and pretty stiff also. We've got a little off-road section here. Let's check it out. Get us into 4 high. Pretty muddy, but we're getting through it just fine. Basically, we don't really have a choice. Again, here's a situation where that turning radius really comes in handy. Not terrible mud traction on these all-season tires. And of course, ground clearance on this thing is awesome. You really do get a lot of traction in off-road situations. A lot of confidence, nice ground clearance. We'll switch back to 2 high there. All right, guys. Well, it's been a pleasure testing this truck this week. You know, you get into a lot of the new trucks that are on sale these days, and you're pretty enamored by their tech and their feature list and all the buttons and switches and fancy screens. But there is a lot of appeal to this Tundra just because of what it is, and I think what Toyota has done with it and not done with it in its life cycle. I'm sure we'll see a refresh here soon and a full new design with maybe a hybrid powertrain, turbos, a V6. We'll see. It'll probably get double the gas mileage that this does, and that will be a nice thing because I think your fuel expenses would be pretty high in this, but overall, as a truck, this is one of the greats. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.